Welcome to my car. As you guys know, kids are busy, and that means that sometimes you have to film in your car. I've seen a lot of people do that recently, and I was like, you know what, that'd actually be a really good use of my time this week because we are kind of stuck out more often than I normally am, and so this is just a really nice way to kill all the birds with as minimal stones as possible. So, guys, if you are new here, my name is Shanna. We are a homeschooling family of 4, and we are in our 6th year of homeschooling, and I'm currently planning for our 7th year of homeschooling. And so I wanted to come here and I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to talk about how I choose our homeschool curriculums. Guys, before we go any further, please scroll down, hit the big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. I don't feel like this is aligned perfectly, and of course, the lighting isn't great, but I'm in a car. It is what it is. So let's start with, again, I'm going into my 7th year. So what I usually do is I look at whatever it is that we are using for said topic, language arts, math, or whatever. So normally what I do is I look at what we are using and I think about why I am wanting to change. There's been a couple times, like when we went from Mazdas to MCT, I was like, it wasn't a bad program. I wasn't feeling like it was awesome or perfect. And so I knew that I wanted to kind of branch out and look out a little bit. And then there are times when you're like, you know, what is it about this that is not working? And I kind of try to take inventory of what is it that isn't working. Now, if I am coming at this for something I don't already use, I Google. Now, how do I Google? Well, Google to me is kind of the broad scope term for searching. So I start searching out. Now I'm Googling things like, you know, secular middle school science, like mystery science. That's actually one I just used because that's coming up for me. And it's important to me because I like that format. Now that comes up in a minute. So I am Googling all kinds of things. I am coming here and I am asking this community for help because inevitably one of you here uses something, does something, already has the answer for something that I am looking for. So the first thing that I do is I either look at what isn't working or I start looking at what all of my options are. Now, from there, it's really easy for me for some reason to accept or dismiss something. And it helps whittle down my list quite a bit because the first thing I'm looking at is like format and how I feel about it. So for example, I know that my kids learn really well from like, video things. So if I know that there's, you know, if one curriculum's a video compared to one that's not, I'm gonna diving deeper into the video curriculum to see if that's a better fit because I know that that format already is a good fit for me. If there is a history that is 100% a read aloud, and one that has an audiobook, I'm gonna look harder into the audiobook. Again, that format, that feel just works for me. Then what I look at next is investment. Now by investment, I mean time and money, okay? So my time, my energy, but also cost. Is it worth it for me? For time and money, because those are things that really do matter quite a bit. The investment that's going to be required of me can make or break a decision for me, as I'm sure it can all of you. I know that everybody knows what I'm talking about. So first, I'm comparing what I do and don't like about what I already have or Googling all of my options. Then I'm looking at the format and the feel of it. And then I'm looking at the investment as far as time or money. Next, I'm going to get all of the things that have made it this far down my list and I'm going to look at them next to each other. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I like the feel of this one, but this other one requires, you know, is less money. I like the feel of this one, but the other one is 48 weeks long and I normally do like 32 weeks of school. So I'm going to go and get my whittled down list and do like a good, better, best kind of ranking. Now, from my good, better, best kind of ranking, I will do the try and buy. So almost everything you can get a sample of, or you can look for YouTube reviews are super amazingly helpful, or you can look at more reviews on the sites or the Cafe Duffies, or there's somebody out there somewhere who has probably reviewed what you want, or at least given you a slightly more in-depth look at it. There's placement tests available on websites frequently. So my next step is the try and buy. And if I try it and I like it, then I buy it, which is the scary part because you really never know until you can get it in your hands and in your home. But being able to look at samples and being able to look at reviews and being able to look at videos and flip throughs and things like that give you a better idea on if it will be more or less likely to work for you. So just to recap, the steps that I go through to choose my curriculum is if it's something I already use, I look at what isn't working for us in that or what I feel like could be better. If it's not a piece that we already use, I go ahead and I Google all of my options from there, which honestly, if it's already something I use, I then still look at all of my options from there. So I'm Googling, I'm doing the research, I'm gathering all of my options, and then I start going through and just looking at each one, figuring out the format that it is, because I know that there are some that are more likely to work better in our homeschool, and the feel of it, because there's some things that I'm more likely to use more efficiently if they are in, for example, an audiobook versus a read aloud. Then I'm looking at the investment, both time and money, because both are important to me. I will choose saving time over saving money time and time and time and time again, because that is where I find greater value. Then I'm going to go ahead and get my own personal rankings, good, better, best. And from there, I'm going to move into the try and buy, which is the samples and deciding to finally make the purchase. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I really sat in this and thought about, like, what is it that I do when I buy a curriculum? And it's one of those things where these are just the things I do. So it's hard to kind of articulate the steps that I take to make these purchases, but these are the things that I'm doing every time. I'm extensively Googling. I am extensively trying to find every little piece. Like, once I've settled on what I think the right answer is, I'm trying to find those reviews. I want to see the flip through. What does the table of contents look like? How many weeks does this take? Because that's always a big thing for me, because you guys know, I try to keep it like 30, 32 weeks. I want 4 days a week. I want it to be as streamlined and kind of slimmed down as possible. So if I can get an audiobook or a video format that's doing that for me, these are all things that help me. If I feel like it's, an affordable cost, then that's great. But I do place a higher value myself on time investment over money investment. So guys, I hope that this little explanation of how I do this, of how I choose these things, was helpful for you. If so, guys, please scroll down, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. As always, you can find me right on down in the comments or over on Instagram at Making Everyday Magic. And this was just kind of a brief rundown on how I choose curriculum. I thought it would be really helpful to come here and share this before I start talking about the curriculum I'm choosing for middle school science and all of the curriculum I'm about to be purchasing. I thought that it would be really probably more helpful to know the steps and processes that I'm going through on all of that first before I start showing you all of the things that I bought or plan to buy or did any of that, because I'm not always very good at showing you guys kind of all of the nighttime Googling that I'm doing, or all of the thought processes, or all of the conversations I'm having with myself in the shower. And so it may seem more like it goes A to Z than letting you know that I hit out, every letter in between, because, it's like the magic of editing in the internet. You're not sitting with me all the time, but really what it is I'm poring over this and I'm talking it out with my husband and my daughter and looking at the things. So I want you to know that there's quite a bit more that goes into this than simply like click, buy, use, done. No, I'm really focusing on, and something that is really important to me is the format, because I know that going on to my 7th year, there are some things I am just more likely to use. And so those get a higher ranking when I'm looking at my good, better, best ranking. So keep that in mind, be honest with yourself, because it makes a huge, absolute huge difference. Okay, I think I'm done talking. I'm going to film another video right here in the seat about middle school science. Stay tuned. Bye.